Okay. So we're back. And we're doing another deep dive. And this time it's into this really interesting mini personality test.
Yeah.
That we found from the Spiritual Seek.
Yeah. I saw that one.
You know, the Spiritual Seek?
Yeah.
Did all those great quizzes. And
yeah. They're really good at like sort of distilling down philosophical ideas into like a very easy to digest,
accessible
format.
So this one is all about figuring out if you have like a
philosophical mind.
A philosophical mind, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this. So basically there's like 6 statements. Yeah. And you go through.
Yeah.
And you check the ones that you agree with.
It's a choose your own adventure philosophy.
And then at the end they tell you, you know, based on how many you checked, you have like a certain level of philosophicalness. I don't know if that's a word.
We'll go with it.
But I thought it'd be fun to go through each one.
Yeah.
And to like untack them a bit. Because some of them are like
pretty meaty.
Ooh, they're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and then you can decide at home.
Yeah.
Whether or not to check them.
Check or don't check.
No judgment.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's jump into number 1.
I'm ready.
Okay. Man is the measure of all things. Ooh.
That's a big one right out the gate.
That's a big one. So what does that even mean?
I think what's so interesting about that is it's really, I mean, this is like classic Protagoras from ancient Greece. Like this idea that like truth is subjective.
Okay.
And that like whatever a human decides is true for them.
Okay. So like there's no objective truth?
Well, I mean, that's the question, right? Like if I say this table is brown and you say this table is green, who's right?
All right.
Well, maybe we're both right.
Yeah. I mean, the idea that there's no objective truth is like kind of mind-blowing.
I mean, it really is. It's like the foundation of like how we understand the world.
Yeah.
Is like kind of ripped away.
Yeah. And then like how do you make decisions?
Right. How do you judge anything?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where I struggle with this.
Well, and it makes it really hard to like have conversations with people who have different viewpoints.
Right. Because like who's to say that my viewpoint is any more valid than yours?
Exactly. And I think that's something that we're really grappling with as a society right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like just this idea that like everyone has their own truth. And how do we even begin to have like a productive conversation?
So do you check this box?
I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. All right. Let's move on to number 2.
Okay.
Life is a process of constant searching. Okay. I mean, I feel like I'm always searching for something.
I feel like we're all searching for something.
Whether it's like meaning or purpose.
Happiness.
Fulfillment. Yeah.
Love.
Yeah. Or like even just like the perfect pair of jeans.
That's a search.
It's a constant search.
Yeah.
So I feel like this one's like pretty relatable.
Yeah. I think it speaks to that, like human desire to grow and to learn and to like, you know, always be becoming something more than we are now.
But I do wonder if that search can ever really be fulfilled.
Right. Like, are we always going to be searching?
Yeah. Like, is it possible to actually find what we're looking for?
Or is that part of the beauty of it?
Yeah.
Like that we're always striving.
So I guess the question is like, is the search itself enough?
Yeah. Is the journey the destination?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think it depends on the day. Some days I feel like, yes, the search is enough. And some days I'm like, no, I need to find something.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so that was number 2. Do you resonate with that one?
I do.
Yeah, I think I do too. Okay, number 3.
Okay.
Ignorance, the root and stem of every evil.
Ooh, that's a spicy one.
That's a bold statement. So are they saying that like if we could just like educate everyone,
all the problems would go away?
That all the problems would go away?
That's a pretty utopian view of education.
Right. It's like knowledge is the answer to everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because it's like, it goes back to that Socratic idea that knowledge is virtue. But like, I don't know. Is it that simple?
Yeah. I mean, like you think about like some of the most like educated people in history.
Right.
Like some of them have done some pretty terrible things.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's more nuanced than just like, if you know more, then you're a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, what about like emotional intelligence? What about like empathy?
Yeah. And I think also like, there's a difference between ignorance and like willful ignorance.
Interesting.
Like choosing not to know something.
Yeah. Like if you have access to information.
Yeah.
But you choose to like
ignore it.
Ignore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole different beast.
Okay. So maybe it's not just about knowledge. but about like
Yeah.
a willingness to learn
Yeah.
and to understand.
And to be open to like different perspectives
Yeah.
and to like challenging your own beliefs.
Is ignorance really the root of all evil? I don't know.
It's definitely a contributing factor.
Okay. So maybe check it, maybe don't. I don't know.
It's up to you.
All right, number 4.
Let's hear it.
Let him who would move the world first move himself.
I love that one.
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So it's like, before you try to change the world, you got to change yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like look inward before you try to like fix everything else.
Yeah.
Get your own house in order.
It's like Gandhi's quote, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Like it starts with you.
Yeah. Like if you want to make the world a more loving place,
Yeah.
you got to be more loving yourself.
Be more loving, be more compassionate, be more understanding.
Yeah. So it's like personal transformation is like the key to like
Yeah.
social transformation.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Like you can't change the world if you're not willing to change yourself.
Yeah. Okay. I like this one. What about you?
I'm checking that box.
Yeah. Okay, me too. All right.
2 more?
2 more.
Okay.
Number 5. A fool is known by his speech, and a wise man by silence.
Ooh, that was interesting.
Okay. So are they saying that we should all just like be quiet all the time?
I don't think so. I think it's more about like choosing your words carefully
Yeah.
and knowing when to speak and when to listen.
It's like that saying, better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt.
Right. Like sometimes it's better to just listen.
Yeah. Especially in like our current culture
Oh my gosh, yes.
where like everyone has a platform and everyone's like shouting their opinions all the time.
Yeah, it's like a constant barrage of noise.
Yeah. So maybe this is like a call for more like thoughtful silence.
Yeah. Like to really think before you speak.
And to really listen to what other people are saying.
Yeah, and to be okay with like not having an opinion on everything.
Yeah. I think that's a good one. Like it's okay to just say, I don't know.
Right, or I need to think about that more.
Yeah. So this one's about like the power of silence.
The power of discernment.
Yeah. I like that. All right, last one. Number 6.
Hit me.
Studying and understanding history is critical to evolving socially.
That's a good one to end on.
Yeah. It's like if we don't know where we've been.
How do we know where we're going?
Yeah. Like how can we make progress if we don't understand the mistakes that we've made in the past?
Right. Like history is not just like a bunch of dates and names.
Yeah.
It's like a story
Yes.
of like how we got to where we are.
Yeah. And it's a story that we can learn from.
Yeah. And I think it's really important to remember that like history is always being rewritten.
Mm-hmm.
Like who's telling the story matters.
Oh, yeah.
And whose voices are being heard matters.
Yeah. And I think that's something that we need to be really aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like whose perspective are we getting?
Yeah. And what perspectives are being left out.
Exactly.
Okay. So studying history is important.
Very cool.
But like, it's also important to be critical of the history that we're being taught.
Yeah. To question it,
Mm-hmm.
to challenge it, to look for the missing voices.
So it's like history is a tool,
Yeah.
but like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Exactly.
Okay. So those are the 6 statements.
What do you think?
I think they're all really thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting to like, think about which ones resonate with you.
Yeah. Like what does it say about your own personal philosophy?
Yeah. And like how you see the world. And I think even if you don't agree with all of them,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like a good exercise to like,
Yeah.
kind of like examine your own beliefs.
Yeah. Like to just kind of like step back and be like, okay, what do I actually think about this?
Yeah. And like maybe even like have conversations with other people about it.
Yeah. Like what do they think about these statements?
Yeah. And like, why do they agree or disagree?
Right. Like what's the reasoning behind it?
Yeah. Because I think that's how we learn and grow.
Yeah. And I think that's like the whole point of philosophy.
Yeah. It's not about like having all the answers.
No.
It's about like asking the questions.
Yeah. And like being curious
Yeah.
and like being open to like different perspectives.
And changing your mind.
Yeah. So I think that's a great place to end our deep dive.
I agree.
So keep those philosophical gears turning.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.